Welcome back everybody to another edition of 1 Week Later. This week's game is Bloodstained Curse of the Moon. This video will contain spoilers for Bloodstained Curse of the Moon, so if that is something you are worried about, now is the time to stop the video. Now this game is developed and published by Inti Creates, and this was a stretch goal for Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Now, this is a very retro-styled game, and when I say it's retro, I am not joking. It's so retro that it actually hurts, and it very much reminds me of the old Castlevania games in more ways than one. Now, I'm actually going to start off with what I liked about the game. First off, I really enjoyed the music. It's got that great retro music that makes you feel like you're actually playing an old NES game. And it gives a great feeling to the game from the very beginning to the very end. Another thing I really liked about this game is that you can unlock characters to join your party, and once you've actually unlocked them, you can switch to them at any time by pushing the left and right bumper if you are using a controller, or Q and D if you were using the keyboard. And the great thing about this is that each character has a different playstyle. They all have their own strengths and weaknesses, and it really adds a whole new layer to the game, being able to switch between them to kind of fit the needs of the moment. They also each have their own weapon and their own life bars, so one of your characters can die and then you cannot switch to that character anymore until all your characters have died. And now once all your characters have died, you get the kind of game over, you get to use one of your lives, and everyone gets revived. The great thing about this is that if one of your characters actually dies, you don't get the game over, and you have 3 more chances to finish a part that you might have been having trouble with. On the downside, there are character-specific shortcuts that you can only reach with a certain character, and if that character is dead, you do have to take a longer, usually more difficult path. Now the game does have a Game Plus type mode. It's called Nightmare Mode, where you lose your main character but you start with your other 3 characters in his place. Now, being a Nightmare Mode, it does kind of pertain to a few more things. Enemies in the level are stronger, and there are more powerful enemies earlier on, as well as the bosses gaining more moves and being able to hit a bit harder. Now, once you finish that difficulty, there is one more difficulty where the main character can either select to be powered up or one of his companions. I haven't actually gotten that far. I did quit playing after I beat it the first time. I went through the first level with the other characters and I just didn't find it compelling enough to play through again. Now, I liked some of the boss designs. I didn't like all of them. There were some pretty cool ones though. The guy with all the gold was pretty awesome. The last boss is also pretty cool. Didn't care much for the turtle. That was kind of a strange one in my opinion. Now this game did grow on me. When I first started, I was having trouble with my controller. I couldn't miss the directional input even by the slightest bit using the joystick, or else it just would not move, which caused me a few deaths and a little bit of frustration. That seems to have been patched. It seems like you can use the controller just fine now. Now, on to things that I didn't quite like about the game. First thing, I didn't like getting knocked back into bottomless pits. This is one of those things that I remember from old Castlevania games that got me extremely frustrated, and it did the same thing in this one, just trying to make a certain jump and getting caught right at the right angle and getting knocked into a bottomless pit. The game also seems to know when its difficult parts are and will give you a 1-up that you can get every time when you hit those parts. Now, never being one to shy from a challenge, when a game throws a 1-up at you because it knows it's going to be a difficult part, it seems like it's more of a bad design choice than an actual challenge. Like, what is going through the devs' minds when they say, hey, this part's gonna be really hard, let's give them 1-ups here. And what can I say about the story other than it was just terrible? And I'm not sure if this was done on purpose and I'm just missing the point and it's just kind of that retro feel, or if it's just bad. I never quite understood what was going on other than my character was trying to hunt demons. and I never felt invested in the actual story, what little story there is. So this game is mostly about gameplay and that old school feeling. Now that old school retro feeling might be enough for some people, it might be enough for most people, but I can say that it wasn't enough for me. Now, if you were a backer for Bloodstained Ritual of the Night at over $28, you should be able to get this game for free on the platform of your choice. My friend had an extra code, and that's how I was able to play this game. I had no intention of buying it. Like I said before, the retro theme really wasn't working for me. I wasn't really feeling it, so I was just gonna pass this one up. And at $10, I feel like that was the right choice. I don't like the retro, and even playing the game, I couldn't see spending $10 on it actually. And maybe that's the old, grumpy, poor person that I am just coming out. I am, however, looking forward to Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. I have played the demo and it was fantastic. So hopefully that is great. And so to cap it all off, I would not recommend this game at its price point of $10 unless you love the old retro games like Castlevania, Castlevania 3, and games of that similar vein, the old retro games. Not new side-scrollers, this is definitely doesn't have a new side-scroller feel. And what do you guys think? Have you played the game? Do you like it? Did I miss something that you really enjoyed that I didn't quite get? Go and let me know in the comments below. Also, if you have any feedback, just let me know. Throw in a comment. I would love to hear from you guys. See you all next time, everyone, on 1 week later. Go ahead and enjoy the rest of the gameplay.